Hello, my name is Eddie Fluellen. I'm your host, and I'm your host of The Playground, where the players play. And my guests tonight are Scherrie Payne and Joyce Vincent. They are members of the former ladies of the Supremes. Ladies, welcome.
Hi, Eddie. We
Hi.
call ourselves Scherrie and Susaye, formerly of the Supremes, with Joyce Vincent.
Okay, very
Yes.
good. And unfortunately, Susaye could not be here because of a prior commitment. But you know, she's, as you mentioned, Susaye is also a member of the former ladies of the Supreme. So again, thank you so much for
hmm
both being here. All
Oh, you're
righty,
very welcome. Thanks for having
awesome.
us.
And both of you, again, looking as beautiful as always.
Oh. Oh.
Early in the day. I don't know.
Thank you.
And again, like I said, I'm just trying to hang with these beautiful ladies. So you'll forgive me and watch them. First of all, I'm going to have you guys fill in the blanks because believe me, I tried to fill it. I tried to fill in like the history, starting from the original group down to today. Okay, and it's I'm gonna take a stab at this. Okay, and please forgive me if I mess up. Trust me, I am going to mess
Okay.
up. And please fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to start from the original version of the original Supremes.
Yes.
Okay. Diana Ross, Florence Ballard, and Mary Wilson.
Yes.
Okay. 67, Cindy Birdsong replaced Florence Ballard.
Mhm.
Okay. So now we have Diana Ross, Cindy Birdsong, Mary Wilson. Diana Ross leaves in 1970. We have Jean Terrell.
Yes.
Okay. So far, so good, right?
Yes.
Okay. 72, Linda Lawrence replaces Cindy Birdsong. So now
Yes.
we have Jean Terrell, Linda Lawrence, and Mary Wilson, right? 73, enter Scherrie Payne.
Yes.
Okay, Scherrie Payne. And at the same time, I believe if I have this right, Linda Lawrence leaves also, right? And
She
Cindy
left along
Birdsong.
with Jean Terrell at the same time.
Got it. Okay, and that's what I have. And so it's Scherrie Payne, Cindy Birdsong, and Still Mary,
Yes, Cindy
right?
returned. Mhm.
Okay, right. And Cindy returned at that time. And
Yes.
then in 76, Scherrie Payne's, oh, you're still here. And then I have
Yes.
Susie who replaces Cindy.
Susaye, yes.
I'm sorry, Susaye. Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you.
Mhm.
And then Mary is still there, right?
Yes.
Okay. In 77, the Supremes officially disbanded because if I have this right, and correct me if I'm wrong, Motown Records actually owned the name The Supremes, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So as a result, they had decided in all their wisdom that, you know, hey, if we can't have an original member, we can't have the Supremes name being used.
Well,
Right.
let me interject one thing. Mary
Please
decided
do.
that she wanted to go solo.
Okay.
Her husband was urging her to do so. And so we had our last official concert in London
Yes.
yes, in 77. And then Mary decided she was going solo. And so then Susaye and I were going to continue with the group. And we started looking for a replacement.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her about my dear friend Joyce Vincent, who had
Oh,
been
you're
with
so
Tony
sweet.
Orlando and Don.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we had lunch with Joyce and see if they loved her. But then the edict came down from somebody high above in
Mm-hmm.
Motown. And that's when they decided, since there was no original member
Okay.
left in the group, that they should just retire the group. So
Wow.
that's how that happened.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
And thank goodness for all the rest of us that you guys continue to go on.
Thank
Right.
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Continuing on then 9 years later, I have in 86.
Mhm.
Okay. Scherrie. No, wait a minute. I have Jean Terrell, Linda Lawrence, and you and Scherrie.
Yes,
Right.
first it was Cindy, Jean, Cindy, and myself, but Cindy only stayed 3 or 4 months, and then she
Okay.
decided it wasn't for her. She wanted to do her evangelism, and so she
Mm.
left. And Jean called up Linda, and
Oh, okay. So Cindy
Linda,
Birdsong, she
yes,
went to okay, okay. I'm
mhm.
sorry, go ahead.
Mm.
And then so Jean, Linda came in, and so it was Jean, Linda, and me.
Okay.
That's right, in
And
86. That's right.
and at this time, this is when it's called the former ladies of
Former
the
ladies of the
Supremes.
Supremes. It
That's
was
when you renamed it.
FLOS.
Oh,
It was the
Okay.
yeah.
acronym. It
Yeah.
was we were just supposed to use the acronym FLOS,
Oh, okay.
and but people were calling us the flows, floss. I
Oh,
said, no,
yeah.
it's FLOS
Yeah.
for former ladies of the Supremes.
Got you.
Yeah.
So,
Got you.
but we used that for a while, but then from Motown had been sold, I think, to Universal, and they said
Mm-hmm.
they could not say even though we were all formerly of the Supremes, and my
Right.
contract said I could always say, I couldn't say the Supremes. I had to say formerly of the Supremes. So that's how all that happened. Just, oh,
I
Lord.
know, I know, I know.
Yeah.
Formerly of.
Legalisms. Hmm.
Right. Okay. Okay. And you're right. All these legalisms and all that stuff. It's like
Oh, please.
all we want to do is sing. We just want to
I
Yes,
just want
perform.
to say
yes.
Like
work, pay my
really?
bills. Yeah.
Right.
Keep
Right.
that music alive, you
Thank
Right,
you.
know?
Joyce.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Exactly. And so that is in 1986.
Yeah.
Okay. And then in 92, and again, please fill in the blanks. Okay.
Okay.
In 92, we have Jean Terrell left and Susaye rejoined.
Not quite.
Okay.
92.
See,
Jean
like I said, it's complicated, but
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Jean left actually in 93 and she wanted to do her pioneering as a Jehovah's Witness. And so then we got Sundre Tucker, who was Linda's sister, who
Okay.
had at one point years ago been in with the Bluebells, Patti
Oh
LaBelle, the
wow.
Bluebells, yes,
Uh-huh.
Sundre Tucker, and had done some solo songs on her own that were released in the UK. And she
Mhm.
had a name for herself over there.
Mhm.
And so Sundre sang with us for about 3 years, I think, and then Freddie Poole came in and replaced Sundre. And Freddie was with us for almost like 13 years, I think. Freddie
Yeah.
is now and has been with the 3 Degrees. And
Wow.
yeah, and that was
The
in
three degrees are
2009.
out.
The 3 Degrees,
Wow.
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah.
Okay.
And so that's in 2009, and that's when Joyce came back in. All right, Joyce. Joyce came in, so it was Joyce, Linda, and me.
Okay.
And then Linda decided she wanted to retire. What, 3 years ago? Time is flying.
Mm.
3 years
Mhm.
ago.
I think it's been about 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Mhm.
so that's when Susaye
Mhm.
came into the group. So
Got
we
it.
just keep, switching.
Yeah. Yeah.
And first of all, I am going to go back to what you said as far as keeping on switching. Shout out to my switch boys because we keep it switching here, so
Hey,
Hey,
John.
how y'all doing?
we
How
always
you
call people out
doing?
on that when they talk about how they were switching. So
Switching, not
Okay.
working.
there
Thank
you go. There you go. So here we are with the end result being, the trivia with Susaye,
Yes.
the former ladies of the Supremes.
Yeah.
And again, we thank you for keeping your vision going. As a matter of fact, I quote directly, the vision is to rekindle the glamour, style, and music of the Supremes.
Amen.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Amen.
And if you get a chance, go on YouTube. And of course, the Supremes are all over the place, as well as the former ladies of the Supremes. Check out those videos. Okay. And the reason I'm going to stress that is because if I got this right, your latest release, Everybody Gets to Go to the Moon.
Oh,
Is that right?
Oh.
Unconditional Love. I know was which Susaye wrote. And
I'm sorry,
getting a-
did I get the title wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What is the latest release then?
It's
Unconditional Love.
Unconditional Love.
Unconditional Love. Okay.
Yeah.
I heard Everybody Gets to Go to the Moon.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, we love that too.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, unless you know something I don't know.
Yeah.
You never know. These
Is that
last few months,
am,
this
am I
last
wrong?
year
Am
and
I
a
wrong?
half.
Am I wrong, or is that right?
I don't know. Maybe they did release that with this pandemic. I mean, everything has been crazy.
Yeah, you're right. All twisted up and,
Oh
turned
gosh.
around and
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I heard anyway. And just wanted to pay a compliment to you.
oh,
Awesome, awesome, awesome arrangement, awesome vocals. I'm a
thank you.
harmony guy. Everybody that knows me
Oh.
knows that I love harmonies, especially really good tight harmonies.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
ladies, you guys yes,
Ah, thank you, Eddie.
nail that.
Thank you.
Awesome. So if you get a
Thank you.
chance, check out Everybody Gets to Go to the Moon and Unconditional Love. Correct?
Okay. Yes.
Is
Yes.
that did I get that right?
I think
Yes.
so. I think so.
Okay.
If not, we'll be corrected.
Okay.
Eric Iverson will make sure.
Oh,
Awesome.
yeah.
Andre
Okay.
Pittman will make sure.
He
Yeah,
keeps
I
us
know.
on track.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
shout out to Andre as well for
Oh,
letting
Andre,
us have
love
you.
you. Love you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you.
We
Absolutely.
love Andre.
Let me ask you both. You had mentioned as far as the pandemic, how have you both been getting along over this last year and a half?
Crazy.
Go first. Yeah, go first.
It's been crazy, but I've just found other things to do, like gardening, you
Oh,
know,
hmm hmm
things of that nature. And it's been trying,
hmm
but
hmm
we just try to hang in there. That's
There
all
you
you
go.
can do.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And Sherry?
For me, it's been a little bit more difficult. At first, I was just energetic. I said, oh, now I can organize things. I said, let me go through all my cassettes and organize them and label
No.
them and categorize them and blah, blah, blah. So started all that. And then the pandemic kept going on and on and
Oh
on
yeah.
and on.
Oh.
Then after a while, I lost my enthusiasm. And then, as I told you, I had the total knee replacement on May 11th, and I'm taking these pills called Percocet, which is a narcotic. And I'm trying to wean
Mm-hmm.
myself now because it's not good. It's
Mhm.
um, I was telling my fellowship sisters yesterday, and Joyce is part of the fellowship sisters
Awesome.
table that we go to every Wednesday. But it's it makes you lose your appetite. You get depressed. You feel sad. A lot of stuff, but I won't even go into that. But even before that, before the surgery, because of the pandemic, not being able to go out, the only places I was going were like Costco's, my favorite
Right.
place,
Right.
or Ralph's grocery store, to the doctor.
Mhm.
And that's the only
Yeah.
place I was going,
Yeah.
over to my sister. So after a while, we people, we need to socialize. That's, as human beings, we need that social activity.
Oh my
And
gosh.
like Susaye and Joyce that will
Yes.
rehearse, we couldn't do that anymore, get together.
Yeah.
And and I do suffer from depression. I always have ups and downs, ups and downs. And so it just exacerbated it. And
Mhm.
Mm.
and I stopped being creative, and I have to be creative or else I will get depressed. And
Mhm.
playing the piano, writing songs, I can't even remember when I sat down at the piano to write a
Mhm.
song. And I write screenplays and stage plays. 3 have been put on here in Los
They're
Angeles.
fabulous.
Thank you,
Mhm.
Joy.
Mhm.
My
Yeah.
Mhm.
friend, successful director Donald Welch has put them on here in
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hollywood, but I haven't written anything. I haven't had the desire. I've lost my motivation, so I've got to get myself together.
Mhm.
I can't let this go on like this. I'm my mother's daughter, as I say,
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mhm.
Charlie's
Mhm.
daughter.
Mhm.
No, you won't be like that. So I've got to motivate myself, and
I
sometimes all of us, I think.
Yeah.
mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your candor as far as that, because I was one of those as well, at the beginning of this, probably about 2 months in,
Mhm.
where you have like all those people, as I'm sure you both heard, oh yeah, we got to be positive about this, oh yeah, we got to, this and that and the other. And I'm like, no, no,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
good at this at all. I'm
Yeah.
just not, and
Yeah.
again, being creative people,
Mhm.
we need that inspiration and all that. And I remember,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. And I remember that term when I first heard the term social distance. I'm like, to me, that doesn't even sound right.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still having a problem with that. How do you socially distance?
Distance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know, so yeah,
I had best friends that didn't even want to come over. No,
right.
no, I can't come over.
Oh,
I get the
yeah.
virus
Mhm,
and blah, blah, blah. And I've been totally vaccinated. I got
mhm,
Moderna, and
mhm.
everyone, other
Same.
people in my household have gotten the Pfizer. But
Mhm,
even at that, and I still wear my mask when I go
mhm,
out.
Oh,
When I
yeah.
leave today
Yeah.
to
mhm,
go to my therapy, I'll have my mask on.
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, I
mhm.
still put on my mask because you just don't know this is a crazy time we're living
Isn't
in.
it?
We've never
Isn't it?
been through like this before.
Never.
Isn't
And
it?
Never.
even places like Australia, they're shutting down again
Again,
in the
Oh
again.
my
large
gosh.
cities in
Yeah.
Australia. And
Mhm.
it's just crazy. I mean,
It is.
Yeah.
like,
It
what's
is.
going on, Lord? I said,
Yeah.
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 What's going on?
What it did to the entertainment industry
Oh,
is just,
yes,
there's, uh, wow. Don't
exactly.
get me going on.
Right, Eddie. Right,
So,
right,
so
True that.
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Do
So
that.
I'm glad you're both well. I'm glad you're both doing well. And
Thank
and
you.
again, I really appreciate your candor, because I was feeling the same way and all that. As a matter of fact, I remember at the beginning being a keyboardist, I'm a classical pianist. I go all the way back classical.
Oh. Oh,
Yay.
So thank
hey.
you,
Ooh.
thank you, thank
Yes.
you. But my thing was, well, hey, for the next couple of months, when we come out of this, I'm just going to practice straight, just keep practice for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
So for the next
That's
couple
what
of
it
months,
takes.
when we come out of this in a couple of months,
Mm-hmm.
hey,
Mm.
Hopefully, yes.
and it seems that that couple of months went to 3, 4, 5 to where we are a year and a half. And like
Yeah.
you, I just said, you know what? I just threw my hands up, you know.
I
Yeah.
know that's how I
Yeah,
feel. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now,
Mm.
So
next Saturday, Joyce and I are going to the concert. That's a tribute to Mary Wilson. She was supposed to have been doing a concert here in LA.
yes.
And
Oh wow.
Thelma Houston and Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis are going to do a tribute to her in the concert. And I
Nice.
understand her daughter is going to be there too. My sister
Nice.
talked to Terkessa the other day, but they're starting to open up and having events,
Hmm.
in-person events.
Hmm.
But
Oh yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
you still need to be careful.
Oh
Wear your
yeah.
mask, keep your distance because you just don't know what's going
Hmm.
on. Just
Hmm. Hmm.
so up in the
Sherry,
air.
Sherry, you and I should have found a way to go help Joyce with your gardening.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, we should have been out there getting the fresh air, you know,
Yeah,
using
fresh
our
air,
hands in the
beautiful
dirt.
garden. Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do go out and sit in the sun, because,
Uh-huh.
good.
my
Yeah.
vitamin D is not where it should be.
Hmm.
So I try
Hmm.
to go out and sit in the sun. And then I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm a
Yeah.
different color over here. Be careful.
And then Joyce loves to bake too.
Oh,
Yeah, she
Yes,
oh.
I
loves to bake.
do. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
So we could have helped her out with the gardening and then just sat there and waited on our pastries.
That's right.
You
Yeah.
sure could have. I
Uh-huh.
would have baked you up something, honey.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Or her
Okay.
healthy popcorn. Joyce makes the best popcorn. Ooh, she uses olive oil,
Oh,
that
yes,
old-fashioned
yeah.
method. Healthy
Okay.
popcorn. Mhm.
Okay. I'm gonna somehow get you in touch with Gregory Williams, who's the leader of Switch,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Who
Yeah.
we tap whenever we go perform, we always tap that Gregory Williams makes the best popcorn this side of the Mississippi.
What?
So
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna have to
It's
hook you two guys
on,
up
Gregory.
for sure. For sure, for sure. So getting back to your history, what are like the common misconceptions that you hear having to do with either both the former ladies of the Supremes or the Supremes themselves? I really like to focus on the former ladies, if I could. What are the common misconceptions that you hear
About
about the first ladies of the former ladies of the Supremes?
um I don't know, unless people don't want to say anything to me. Talk behind my back. No, I don't know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Uh, I really don't know.
mm.
They're not really Supremes. Yes, we were Supremes. I had a Motown contract.
Thank you, thank
Yeah,
you.
Mhm,
I
Mm-hmm,
recorded
mhm.
at Motown. I
Yeah.
worked with
mm-hmm,
many of the Motown acts.
Mhm.
So I even toured with Diana in 2000, her Return to Love tour. Yes,
mm-hmm,
Susaye and I were Supremes.
mm-hmm.
Yes, Linda Lawrence was a Supreme.
Yep.
Um, we all sang with Mary Wilson, the late great Mary
Yeah,
Wilson, which
yeah.
is still
May she
hard.
rest in peace. Exactly.
It's still hard
Yeah,
to
Yeah.
accept to
that was
believe.
a
It
devastating
is.
loss. That
Oh,
really
that
was.
was so
Mhm,
devastating. Oh, that was
Yeah.
another thing that just sort of dropped me down
mhm.
into a
And she
depression.
pretty much she remained active. I mean, all the way, right?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
She never stopped. That's what I loved about Mary. She
Right.
was vivacious and she carried on that tradition so well. She
Yeah.
never gave up, even when there were no more Supremes and she was on her own.
Hmm.
She was always out there doing it
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
all over the world, carrying on
Mm.
the
Yeah.
tradition.
Awesome.
And some people may have thought, well, uh, you have no right to say
Wow.
you were part of the Supremes and blah blah.
And
You
you
know,
have
so
every right.
people, yeah, I have every right.
Yeah.
And then that's why I don't like social media like Facebook. Some of the things, comments that some of these fans make, even about Mary, even about Diana. I
Hmm.
mean, back and forth. I've even seen some ugly comments about Florence. It's horrible. Why do they
Wow.
do that? I
Wow.
mean,
Wow.
oh my gosh, I
Wow.
just can't believe it. I just
Mm.
can't
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
Like, get a life, people.
Thank you.
Hmm. Yeah, you're right, Sherry. Get a
That's it.
garden or
Right.
something,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Right. Right. Busy yourself doing
Yeah, these
do
ladies,
something
they worked
creative.
hard. They worked hard and they kept the class. And like Maxine Powell, well, she
That's
didn't actually say it in this vernacular, but I say class, not ass.
Mm. Hmm. There
mm.
you go.
And that's
Very
what
Mm-hmm.
young ladies need nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Class.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me while I write that down.
Okay.
There, there you go.
Think
There
about
you
all
go.
the great singers that before our time, that shoulders that we're standing on, the Lena Horne,
Oh
Mm.
gosh,
Ella
yes.
Fitzgerald, Eartha Kitt, Sarah Vaughan,
Yes, yes,
Hmm.
Gloria
yes.
Hmm.
Finn. I mean,
Hmm.
the list goes on and on. Shirley Bassey. I mean, great singers. My
Mhm.
sister, Frida Payne,
Classy
Mhm.
ladies,
Eloise
Mhm.
Love,
classy.
classy
Mhm.
ladies, right?
Yeah,
Always about
yeah,
Mhm.
class.
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
And
yeah.
beautiful gowns, and maybe you don't might not have a beautiful gown on, but whatever you're wearing, uh, conduct yourself with class. And all these
Mhm.
singers, I hate to say it, but it's disheartening. Sometimes it's disgusting what I see.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you
Appalling.
mentioned you mentioned Frida. Frida is
Yeah.
Sherry's sister.
Yes.
It's often said that Sherry is Frida. No, Frida is Sherry's sister.
I'm
That's
proud
that's.
of my sister.
I'm
Yes.
sure you are. I'm sure you are. Um, uh, let's go back to if let's go back to both of your beginnings in music. Sherry, if I have it right, you're from Detroit.
Yes. Born and raised, just like
Were you around when there was when all the noise was happening there at Motown? Like, when the things were going on as far as like Motown's formation.
well, actually, Frida was Barry's first artist before he even had Motown Records. He was
Wow.
still working at the plant and writing songs with and for Jackie Wilson.
She was
And
his first artist.
even though she was never with Motown, she's never
That's a
signed
little
with
known. Wow,
Motown.
that's a very little known
Mhm.
fact. Or I should
And
Yeah.
say, I didn't know that.
I think she was like 13 or 14, and I was, because they're 2 years different. So I was
Mhm.
11, she was 13, or 12
Mhm.
and 14. But we were taking, and I didn't know this till Frida told me, we were taking ballet lessons from Nicholas Sukolov, Russian ballet teacher on
Mm.
Woodward.
Oh,
And in Highland Park. But anyway, she said that Barry came to one of the classes. Well, see, Barry's family had grown up in the same church as our family, Bethel AME Church,
Mhm.
Frederick and St. Wine, and then till they tore it down and built a new location.
Mhm.
But so my mother knew Barry, and she worked at his parents' store, grocery store, as a teenager.
Nice.
And so she knew his sisters, Gwen, Anna, Esther, and Lucy. And um, so he had heard about Frida. Lee, Payne Farley's daughter, sings. And so he came to see her in the ballet class. And then he went to a couple of events where she was singing, and he liked what he heard. So he talked to her and he wanted to manage her.
Mhm.
And
oh, wow.
he had a business partner who owned a nightclub, and I can't think of his name, George. Oh, I can't think of his last name. But anyway, they were going to start, see if they could get a label deal. And
Mm.
so we drove to New York in George's
Mm.
car. It was a white Cadillac, I think. And it was Barry,
Oh,
Barry
my.
and George, me, Mama, and Frida in the
Uh-huh.
back seat. And we drove to New York to get a
Uh-huh.
label deal. And I think it was at Columbia. And
Wow.
they ended up not getting the label deal. And George and Barry got into some kind of argument or something. So Barry flew back instead of riding back with us. But when they got back, Barry wanted Freed to sign his contract. And so my mother read it. And I think it was for a long period of time, like 10 years or something like that. And
Oh,
so,
my
and
goodness.
Right,
Frida had
right.
recorded two
Oh,
songs.
oh.
She had
Uh-huh.
recorded two or three songs for Barry that he had written along with a couple other people like Jenny Bradford. And my mother said, well, that's too long. She said, I'll sign her up to her 21st birthday, but after that, she should be on her own. And then she said, well, if the agent gets 10%, the manager gets, because he wanted 25%. She
Oh,
said,
my
and
goodness.
she's got to pay for her own gowns. And what does she end up with? And what does
Oh.
she end up with? Nothing. He said, well, that's the way it is. So my mother wouldn't sign.
Uh-huh.
So she wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
sign because she didn't care about Frida being in show business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She thought show business was like, oh, drug addicts and blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
she wouldn't sign. So Barry said, oh, you're making a big mistake.
Mm.
So, and Frida was 16 at the time.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, Frida graduated from high school and she auditioned for Pearl Bailey and went on. And then she just kept going, going, going. So Barry started Motown. Frida remembers when Barry would pick her up or have someone to pick her up for him, like
Wow.
even Eddie in the Temptations. He picked her up a
Oh.
couple of times. Marv Johnson picked her up to take her to rehearsal
Mm-hmm.
at Barry's apartment. And Barry was a stickler about singing the melody. He said, don't do all that riffing and stuff. Say that for near the end, but establish the melody.
Mm-hmm.
Establish the
Mm-hmm.
melody.
That's
Mm-hmm.
right.
That's what
Right,
he
right.
always
Mhm.
taught her.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so she said she remembered meeting the Miracles.
Wow.
Miracles, they were there at
Mm-hmm.
the apartment a few times. And then let's see, Mabel John, I think, was right
Mm.
there at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happened with Frida. But then when I graduated from Central High School 2 years later, I went on to college. I went to Michigan State.
Uh-huh.
from 61, and I graduated in 66 in medical technology. And I knew I didn't want to be a med tech. Dang.
Wait. You graduated from college with a medical technology
Mm-hmm.
degree?
Bachelor of Science in Medical
A
Technology.
Bachelor of Science.
Mm-hmm. And so
Okay.
I was supposed to do an internship, a year internship in a hospital. And
Mhm,
I didn't want to do it. I said, I don't want
mhm,
to be a med tech, I decided.
mhm.
And my mother said, well, you got to do something. You know, I paid all this money for you to go to college. I paid $1,200 a year.
$1,200 a
$1,200
year.
a year.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Can you imagine $1,200 a year? Oh,
Can't even buy
okay.
books for that now.
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
Yeah,
mhm. Right,
one book.
right,
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 yeah,
right,
okay.
right. Mhm, mhm,
So then my cousin, who was a teacher, Melinda Payne, she said, well, you can start substitute teaching. I'll get you over at my school. I said, okay. So that's what I started doing, substitute teaching. And then I started going to Wayne State, taking a couple classes so I could get certified. And then while I was teaching at Grayling School of Observation, senior ungraded boys, which gave me a migraine headache every day. That's when I got the call about Invictus Records.
uh-huh. Mhm,
I had
mhm,
started, I was writing songs, playing the piano. And one day Frida was talking with Eddie on the phone because she had already signed with the company. She
mhm,
had run into Brian Holland in New York. And
mhm.
he told her about
Of
the
Holland
company.
Dozier
They had
House.
just left Motown. They were forming their own company to sign with them. So she did. So
Mhm.
she was talking with, she had come home to visit. And so she was talking with Eddie on the phone. So I started playing on the piano real loud. The song called
Trying to be heard.
Everybody Should Know a Little Pain. I remember that
Right,
was the name
right.
of the song. I said, I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
write this for Gladys Knight and the Pips. Everybody
Wow.
Should Know a Little Pain. So Eddie calls me to the phone. He said, what was that you were playing? I said, oh, just a little tune I wrote. He said, do you have any more? I said, oh yeah, I have lots more. He said, would you like to audition for the company? I said, well, I don't care. So he said, well, I'll send somebody around to pick
It's
you up and take you to
nonchalant.
Lamont Dozier's
Right.
house. So he sent Ron Dunbar over, the late Ron Dunbar now,
Mhm,
to
mhm.
pick me up
Yes,
and took me to
I know
Lamont
Ron.
Dozier's house in Palmer
Mhm,
Woods. And I sat there with Lamont, Brian, and Edward. Jeffrey Bowen was there, and McKinley Jackson. And I
Oh
played
my
about 5
gosh.
songs. And then they said,
wow.
oh, wow, we like it. We want to sign you to the company too. But
Mhm,
we don't need
mhm.
another female soloist, because they had Frida. They had just signed, I think, the Honeycomb, and was it Eloise Law? Somebody, Laura Lee. So they said, we're
Uh-huh.
going to put you in this
Yeah.
group we're forming called the Glass House with Ty Hunter,
Thank you.
who was
I
a
was hoping you'd
fabulous
touch upon
tenor
that.
singer. Oh, the fabulous Ty Hunter. And
Uh-huh.
you, Ty, and then we'll add 2 more people,
Uh-huh.
and which they eventually did, Pearl Jones and Larry Mitchell.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
that's how it
Yeah.
came to be.
Awesome. Awesome. I was hoping I was hoping you'd mention Glass House.
Oh, yeah.
Um, speaking of that, a little known fact, please tell us about the song One Ads.
Oh, wow. I had recorded this song, and I'm sitting in the one day, just sitting in the studio with the engineer whose name escaped, Barney Perkins. That was
Barney
Barney.
Perkins.
Oh,
Barney
right.
Perkins.
Barney. Hmm.
And I'm just sitting there chatting with Barney, and he puts this song. He said, I'm gonna play something for you. So I sat there listening. I said, wow, I haven't heard this in a long time. And I'm
Uh-huh.
sitting there listening. And then it got halfway through it. I said, well, wait a minute, Barney, that's not me singing. He said, I know, it's
Uh-huh.
Edna. I
Mm.
said, Edna? He said, yeah. What? They had
Mhm.
put it on the honeycomb. And so Edna told me, she said, girl, don't you remember that day you had just sung the song and you were leaving and I was coming in to the studio, and I said, girl, that's a bad song you just recorded. And I said, it is? I said, if you like it, you can have it. Now, I don't remember that conversation, but that's what Edna said.
Oh.
But anyway, and the
Uh-huh.
guy who wrote it ended up being her husband, Greg Perry,
Mhm,
fabulous Greg Perry and
mhm.
General Johnson. But anyway, um, so they
Yeah.
put it on the honeycomb. And I remember Larry and Pearl and Ty, they were furious. They said they put Ron ads on the honeycomb. They gave it to them. I said, well, no big deal, dang. And so then it became a million seller.
Right.
Okay.
It was a huge deal.
Huge
Yes, it
deal.
was.
But like
Mhm.
I said, it wasn't meant. It wasn't meant for us. It wasn't meant for me. It was
I
meant for
love it.
Edna
I
and
love it. Mhm.
Shelley and
Oh
Karen.
yeah.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Um, wow. Wow. Joyce.
Yes.
Another Detroit native, correct?
Yes.
Yes, that's
Okay,
correct.
all righty. And were you around during the Motown
Oh,
beginning era?
I'm sure I was. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've heard of this little company down the street, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I was one of the kids, looking up to these artists and
Mm-hmm.
wanting to be
Mm-hmm.
one of them or
Mm-hmm.
any of them or all of them,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah,
Mm.
I was around.
That's right. Were you aspiring to be like part of the label at the time?
Yeah,
Okay.
I had a girls group, of
Mhm.
course. Every kid just about had their own little girls group.
Every kid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we actually went to audition at Motown.
Mhm.
We were turned down simply because, not because we, couldn't sing, but because we were still in school. And they encouraged you come back when you graduate from school
Mhm.
and we'll
Mhm.
talk. So of
Mhm.
course you know, that wasn't good enough. So
Mhm.
it really wasn't. I was like,
It
that
never,
seems
right?
like 100 light years away before graduation. I don't want to wait until then.
Mhm. Mhm.
So my girls group went to Golden World, which was Ed Wingate
Okay.
Yeah.
and
Right.
Edwin Starr and Shades of Blue and all
Wow.
those groups.
Mhm.
Pat
Mhm.
Lewis, not the Honeycomb, but
Um,
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
Adorables.
Oh, okay.
Just a lot of groups was out
Mhm.
of Golden World.
Mm.
mm,
Mm.
So
Mm.
yeah.
What brought you? What got you into an interest in the business? Was there
Well,
a catalyst?
my dad was a musician, bass
Okay.
player, jazz musician. So I've been around music all my life.
Mhm. Did you
You
sing with your
know,
dad by any chance?
no,
Oh.
I didn't. No,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Awesome.
I would
Awesome.
have liked to have sang with him, but I was a kid. I
Mhm.
was, sing jazz, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
But
Right.
yeah, it's just been around all my
Mhm.
life.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I've
So,
always felt that I wanted to do that.
mhm.
I didn't know if I could sing, but I found out that yeah, I can.
I can sing a little bit.
A little bit,
little
So,
bit.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Tony, Orlando, and Dawn.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Gosh, that started off with Telma. Telma was she was a substitute singer
Mhm.
where she would go to other groups if they needed a singer, and she
Mhm.
met Tony Orlando,
Mhm.
and he he offered her a deal.
Mhm.
How would you like to go to Europe or whatever?
Mhm.
And of course, she said, yeah,
Mhm.
because at that time he had two hit songs, but there was no group.
And before you go any farther, for those who don't know Tony, Orlando, and Dawn, look it up.
Oh yeah.
Right. Do the research.
Definitely do the research on this. Definitely. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go on.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, but Sherry's got the great story of
Mhm. Mhm.
how we left to go with Tony Orlando and Dawn. We were actually the in-house background singers at Invictus. That's how I ended up meeting Sherry.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You and
So
Telma were, or just you were? You were one of,
me and Telma and my sister
okay. Okay.
and a couple guys. One of them became my husband, but that's a whole nother thing. We won't even discuss that. Uh, so it was my ex-husband and another guy and myself, my sister and Telma. We
Mhm.
made up the nucleus of background singing
Backgrounds.
at Invictus.
Mhm,
Oh, okay. So you performed on,
We sang on a lot of those hits,
okay. Okay.
mhm.
So you were on a lot of different projects there at Invictus?
Absolutely.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Okay. So Tony Orlando comes along and taps you and says, "Hey."
Well, he taps Telma and says, "Hey,"
Okay.
because she met him in New York. He's trying to put this group together
Hmm.
because the songs are
He's
huge hits in
right.
Europe.
Right.
There was
And he
no
and he
group.
needs a group.
He needs a group. So he asked Telma, about joining, being part of this group.
Hmm.
First, she told him no.
Mm.
Then he was very persistent, very
Hmm.
persistent. and he wore her down. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
because that's, he wanted to do this.
Mhm,
So he
mhm.
says, well, what would it take, to get you to say yes? She's very, it would take a trip to Europe.
Uh-uh.
Uh-huh. Don't you know that? That man went and booked a 6-week tour to Europe. And he comes
Wow.
back and he tells her, I've got this tour booked. Now, do you have a friend who you can deal with that could be a, part of the group? She said,
Nice.
yeah, my friend Joyce.
Hmm, hmm.
The
Wow.
rest
And
is
the
history.
Wow.
rest of this is history.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Awesome. What great stories. What great
Fate.
stories.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting too, because both of you have those instances where it was like, well, the first answer is like in your case, no, in that case.
Yes.
Or,
Well,
in or in
it's
Sherry's
really
case, hey, if you like it, you can take it.
okay if you wanna. Yeah.
Mhm. So, mhm.
But Eddie, it's really something. When Telma called and asked me about joining this group and going to Europe, and I said, no, I'm getting married in 3 weeks. I
Mm,
had planned a big wedding, everything. I'm like, no, I'm getting married.
mhm.
I says, besides, I don't think my husband's gonna go for that. So she says to me, well, all you have to do is discuss it with him and find out.
Mhm.
Well, he said, hey, go for it.
Wow,
So
nice.
then I
Mhm.
called her back and I says, yeah, tell Tony, yes, I'll do it.
Nice,
So
nice.
that's, yeah,
And the original tour was, did you say 6 months?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. And I'm sure it went longer than that.
Well, not the first tour, but
Oh,
we were
okay,
back
okay,
and forth a lot. So yeah,
okay, okay. Because I mean, you
yeah,
guys had like a number of hits. Like I said, for those people that are watching, look it up. Look it
Mm.
up.
yeah.
I'll mention featured hits. Let me spit it out. Tie a yellow ribbon
Around
around
the
the old
old
oak
oak
tree.
tree.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Huge, huge hits. And he don't love you like I love you.
Uh-huh.
Mm, mm, mm. So, moving on, as far I like to say, as far as the playground, we like to focus on our guests be like veterans of the music business and pretty much like teach in this instance. Both being singers, and for as long as you have, what do you do to keep your voices strong? Are there exercises that you do every day, or is there? I mean, what do you do to keep? I mean, you, you've done it for a long time. Are
Well,
there
I
any
can't sing like
secrets?
I used to. I'll tell you.
Oh,
People expect me
don't
to sound
don't.
like I did 30, 40 years ago.
We'll have that part edited out because that's no 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 no.
I like
Okay, that
Eddie.
that
Yeah, me too. I like you,
that.
Eddie.
Thank you. That's another one that would go on YouTube and check this out. But anyway, moving on.
Well, see, my daughter is always telling me, you need to vocalize. You need to come into the studio. My daughter is a vocal coach, Shoshana
Oh,
Payne Phillips.
nice.
She has a
Okay.
studio called La Voix,
La
French for the
voix.
voice, in
Okay.
Studio
Mhm.
City on Laurel Canyon,
Okay.
4344 Laurel Canyon.
And what's your
But
daughter's name again? I'm sorry. Shout out
Shoshana Payne
Shoshana
Phillips.
Payne Phillips. Got it.
Yes.
For those who need
And
vocal instruction,
she is a
there it
vocal
is.
coach. In fact, Thelma Houston is one of her students. Frida goes to her.
Oh, yeah.
Joyce and Pam have been to
Yeah,
her, and
we've all
Pam
been
even
to her.
teaches
Oh
over
wow.
there
Okay.
too.
Joyce, you
Yeah.
Yeah.
have as well.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Awesome.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But since this pandemic, I've hardly done any singing. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess I didn't think about it. I should have been singing at least around the house. I haven't done any singing. So I really need to get in there
Okay.
and strengthen my voice again. And
Mhm.
because I
Hmm.
can't hit, of course, I can't hit notes like I used to, but Susaye can.
Mm.
Ooh,
Mm.
Susaye
Oh,
Mm.
amazes
yeah.
me. Her voice
Okay.
Yeah.
is magnificent.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
but
And
so I'm
please
gonna
don't feel like
start
you're alone
singing
as
some
far as
more.
like you said, I wish I had done this because again, I mean, you, me, there's a whole bunch
Yeah,
of us out there that like, man,
Yeah.
yeah,
but
if
Yeah.
only. And then I get
yeah,
depressed because of it. I can't hit the
yeah,
notes like I used
Mm.
to, and
understood.
I want to disappoint people because they're thinking you're going to sound like you did 40 years ago. No, I can't. My vocal
Or
cords,
or in this
and I'm
case,
trying
at
to
least
think
a
who
couple of years
Eloise
ago.
Laws told me.
Mhm.
Eloise Laws told me, she said, well, the vocal cords are a muscle.
Mm.
And if you
Mhm.
don't
Yeah.
use those muscles,
Yeah.
they start to
Mhm.
That's
thicken
right.
and, atrophy or whatever. And
Mm.
you've got to keep those muscles moving.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna go back to my daughter and take lessons.
There you go. There you go.
Uh,
Joyce, when you're out in the garden, do you sing? Do
No, no.
do you hum a
But
couple tunes?
me. You know, well, fortunately for me and my sister, we still do sessions, background sessions.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I am doing something to keep my voice up. I'm still singing,
Okay. Okay.
not as much as I'd like to, but I
Okay.
still do it.
And hopefully that's going to change here pretty soon.
It's
Very soon.
starting to
Sooner
kind
than
of,
later. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And in these sessions and thank goodness for the music industry that we have, like technology and all that stuff, where we can have like sessions in our own home studios.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
is it mostly like that kind of things you've been doing just to keep your voice up, or are you going into the big
I'm
studios?
going, we're going into the studios, Yeah. Work.
There you go. There you go. So one of my favorite actresses, Viola Davis.
Oh, yes.
She had said something a few years ago. She says, if I got this right, there's another group of 3 important words. Okay. And those important words, and I think they especially pertain to, come to us in the music industry. And now what? So let me ask you, and now what?
well, things are starting to open up.
Yeah.
And so all the gigs that got canceled from last year, we're waiting for those gigs, possibly maybe something in August. I think, what did Eric tell me?
You are
It's
getting
Alabama.
calls, right? Are people starting to call
Yeah,
you?
Eric, our representative is getting calls because a lot of things got postponed. And we did do one gig in November of last year that had been canceled, postponed, I think twice. And finally, the promoter said, we're going to do this. We'll just move it to a bigger venue, a theater, and we're only going to sell 50 tickets and just space it out. And everybody in the audience had to wear a mask, and then they streamed it where people could pay to see it online. That way the promoter could make their money up. And we ended up having a great time.
It was really nice. Yeah.
It was really nice, wasn't it, Joyce?
I enjoyed it.
I did too.
How was that for you? I mean, because needless to say, you performed to packed houses. Okay. The first gig coming out of the pandemic. How was that for you, seeing like way fewer people there in the audience?
It was surreal, and we were right in the middle of the pandemic. That was November of last year, so we were right in the middle of it. And I remember flying on the plane, all the hassles we had to go through. Of course, no middle seats were filled on Delta Airlines, and I even saw a couple of people in hazmat suits.
Oh my goodness!
Passengers?
Yeah, in a hazmat suit.
Oh gosh!
Dang. I mean, we really don't know where it's coming from. I mean, and who has it, and
you said this was in November of last year?
November of last year. And was it Cincinnati?
Cincinnati, yeah.
Okay.
Cincinnati, right, yes. Yes, Cincinnati.
Okay.
So things are opening up, but they still need to be very cautious.
Exactly.
In England, I was just listening to the news. They said Italy, they said don't fly through the UK. Fly straight through to Italy, and then you may be asked to quarantine once you get there. This was just on the news earlier today. Good Morning America. So we're not out of the woods yet.
Wow.
So, yeah, the variant that's arising.
Yeah, the Delta variant.
Now, the Delta variant. So,
and even that's a lot to ask. I think I mean, even besides entertainers, to be asked to go somewhere and then wait for an additional amount of time. Like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well, you got to
money lost.
14 days.
Oh,
totally.
for sure.
Exactly.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Absolutely.
And Joyce, now what?
Well, now what? I'm waiting as well.
I hear
for the next,
in
the meantime, I'll keep doing my gardening and
and baking.
And yes.
And baking, making her popcorn.
Yeah.
I I was just gonna say, somehow I gotta find a way to get some of that popcorn. And like I said, I'm gonna tell Greg as soon as we get done. Greg, I think I got some competition here for
Oh my gosh.
you. So,
And there was a play, my friend Donna Welcher put some plays. In fact, he's just started filming, or almost finished filming a script called Baby Girl, a movie. And he's put on so many things at the Wilshire Ebell Theater. In fact, he's got something in October at the Wilshire Ebell. But he was putting on my play, 10 Good Years, April 19th of last year. And we were in rehearsals in February. And one of the cast members came in. We had just gotten the tickets. And I think he had sold 70 some tickets and we hadn't even advertised it yet.
nice.
And,
Wow.
in fact, I still had the tickets in my purse. But anyway, one of the cast members came in and said, well, there's this virus that's coming to the United States and we might have to postpone. And we both said, oh, no, we don't have to postpone. I said, over 300 million people in the United States, only 20 people have this virus. No, we don't have to worry. Well, a month later, what?
Oh, wow.
New play here. So everything got canceled. The playbills have been made up, everything. And so I don't know what's going to happen with my play 10 Good Years, if Donald's going to bring it back, because he's been keeping so busy doing other things, streaming. I don't understand all this stuff, technology.
Yeah, neither do I.
But he's got other things, TV shows that he's put on line streamed. And so he's still doing it. He's moving. He's going to be up there.
Okay. The play again is called 10 Good Years.
10 Good Years, yes.
Okay.
He already did It Always Rains on Sunday. That was the first one he did. Then A Lady in Waiting was the second one. That was at the Bar, about a woman on trial for murdering her husband. And that was only 5 cast members. And that was riveting. Quincy Jones came.
Oh my
Thelma
goodness.
was there. Thelma Hopkins, Mary Wilson came. Some of Judy Pace, Beverly Todd, Anand, Marla Gibbs, Sherry Gordy, Iris and Carla Gordy. So many people came.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Celebrities,
Gosh.
packed house. Packed
Awesome.
house. It
Awesome.
was a mystery.
Ooh, boy.
Wow.
You're not
He says he
kidding,
does
it's a
wanna do that as a
mystery.
movie.
Oh, it's riveting. It's
Oh,
it's
okay.
like,
Okay.
and then you're like,
And it keeps
Awesome.
twisting, all these twists
my
and turns.
God.
Just when you think you figured it out, it goes another
Really?
way. Like
Oh
that.
And
my
again,
goodness.
the name of that again is
A Lady in
A
Waiting.
Lady in Waiting.
A Lady in Waiting, yeah. And the lady who plays the person who supposedly murdered her husband, she said she's talking to the prison guard. And I'm trying to remember the line when she said, my husband prostituted my body and pimped my dreams. And
Oh,
I hated him
yeah.
to the depths of deep. And I swore that one day I would get my revenge. And that day came. I became a lady in waiting, waiting for my time to come. And that day finally came. Then she'll say to the prison guard, Officer Bailey, I'm ready. But you don't know what happened after that.
Oh.
Mm,
And I've been there, I think, to see that play. Was it 3 times, Sherry?
3 times, Joyce.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
it
A
is.
Lady in Waiting.
It's amazing.
It is.
And the
It is.
actors
It
were
sounds
phenomenal.
amazing.
Thais Walsh. Oh, Thais Walsh was phenomenal as Elmira.
Yeah.
It sounds like it is.
Yeah.
That's
Mm.
awesome.
Steve
That's
Fontaine,
awesome.
yeah.
Wow. Congratulations. That's great. That's awesome. Where can we, my audience, where can we find out what's up and coming for the former ladies at the Supremes? I keep wanting to say first ladies. I apologize for that. There you go. The former ladies of the Supremes. Where can we keep up with what's going on?
Well, if you go on our website, Eric can send you that information. Or Andre, the website, Sherrie and Susaye.
Sherrie
Women of the
and
Supremes.
Susaye, former ladies, correct?
And if you go on Facebook, if you go on, is it Instagram?
There it is. Sherrie and Susaye, formersupremes.com.
Yeah, .com.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
And there are a couple other sites, I think on Facebook and YouTube and is it Instagram, another one.
Yeah, I don't have any of that info, but
I was gonna say, you hear
Yeah.
Sherrie, this technology, you hear she just ran down the whole list and all that. Oh, I don't know anything about all this technology, but check out Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I mean, she just ran down the whole
Let me tell you
Come
something.
on, girl.
Yes, I mean Monday when I was at therapy, in between the torture sessions they were doing, and I had my cell phone, and I was trying to turn it off, and then you're supposed to press this button up here. And I'm trying to turn it off, but Siri kept coming on, the voice, and I'm trying to turn it off to go off, and then I said, "Oh, this phone is so stupid." And next thing I know, I hear this voice saying, "That wasn't very nice."
So, ladies, listen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on the playground. I want to close with this. You all are an example of persistence, perseverance, and keeping your eyes on the common goal. And that common goal being what I mentioned earlier, to rekindle the glamour, style, and music of the Supremes. Thank you for the audience. Thank you for me for continuing that legacy. We really appreciate that.
Oh,
And you were
thank
all beautiful, both of you. And Susaye, so sorry you missed this. Hopefully we
yeah,
can do this again soon.
yeah.
So again, thank you so much for being on the playground. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
Eddie.
having
Thank
us.
you for having us.
All
And
righty.
we have to keep that music playing because the Supremes were an icon. And they
Yes.
Yeah, you're
represent so
right.
much for young Black girls. And I'm just so proud to
Yes.
be part of that legacy.
Yep. Yep.
Yes,
Thank
Susie
you.
and I both, and now Joyce. And
Awesome.
follow your dreams and never give up, and listen to that inner voice, God's voice. Listen to what he's saying. Let him talk to you, and then
Thank
listen.
you.
Sometimes you don't follow it, but don't give up. Don't give
Thank
up.
you. Thank you. And
Yeah.
on that note, Joyce, I'm going to give you the final word on this. Any words that you want to offer? Because Scherrie pretty much had just done that. Any
She
words?
pretty
Yeah, words that you want to offer those that are up and coming.
well,
What advice would
like Sherry said, follow your heart.
Mhm,
To me, it's
Mhm.
like, follow your dreams. What are
mhm,
you
Mhm.
dreaming about that you really, really want? Sometimes you have to kind of educate yourself with on these dreams. Do what you
Mhm.
need to do. Like
mhm,
I had to take piano lessons. I didn't want to,
Me
but
too.
I'm thankful that my dad did that for me
uh-huh,
because I'm able to, put
mhm,
that towards what
Use
I'm
it.
doing now. So
mhm,
follow
mhm.
your dreams and your heart.
Absolutely.
And there
Don't
it
give up.
is.
That's right.
There it
Even when it
is.
seems
There it
dark,
is.
even though it seems
Awesome.
dark, tears may
There.
endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning.
Yeah.
That's
Amen.
right.